Hi, it's Steve and George. We're here at the museum. We just wanted to talk a little bit today about some of the footage that we've added to the. Well, actually, what do you want to start with, the Freeman film?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. You just got some information on that and a cast, didn't you?
Got a casting in here. It's a copy. It was taken the day after the film was shot. And plus, I got a frame grab, which we have set up here, and I'll show you guys later in the museum. So we've added that video now to our list of things here, along with many others, and not to mention the stuff that we've, of course, caught ourselves.
Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Get up here where I can see him real quick.
So we played it before, and we were just watching, looking through. So what do you think about it?
I'll tell you, that thing looks almost like the Patterson-Gimlin film. The face on it, where you can see the white going across just above the bridge of the nose and the eyes and a tiny bit of the forehead. Mm-hmm. And just the way it walks, I mean, it looks good to me. It looks real.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of it holds water. I mean, I like the way it's hunched over.
Yep.
The way you can see it's muscular. It's built.
Yeah.
It's not some kind of flabby suit or anything like that. It turns. It has that no neck sort of thing that you see consistently. Even the photo we got at Medoc is the same thing. It's just this that kind of gorilla-looking cone head.
Yeah, that thermal image you got. You can almost put them side by side, and it would look exactly alike. I mean, except for the fact that it's in thermal.
Right.
That thing is walking just like the picture you got, and I don't know how many people walk around like that.
And it's hard to get daytime. We've had a lot of daytime sightings in the area here, the Littleton area, Medoc Mountain, Halifax, Warren County, and but it's even more rare if someone's lucky enough to be out there filming them. I got one picture years back with my daughter, which I'll mix in here, but it was just a silhouette in the background rocking between these trees. But for them to get this, I know everyone always yells at every time someone gets something. We've all been there.
Yeah.
How come you didn't get a video? How come you didn't get this? It is so hard. It's a fleeting couple of seconds when things go by.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And we've all missed stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
And of course, the technology back then. This was what, what's the date on this?
70 something?
Geez, I have 92. Was it?
Was it 92?
Yeah, 1992.
Oh wow. Wow.
So it's a little bit newer, but still, who knows what equipment he had? If he still had a high-8 camera, or something like that. Or, I mean, not everyone has state-of-the-art equipment. Even what I'm using here is one of my old pro cameras I use as a journalist, and this thing's not 4K. It's HG, but it's not 4K, which everyone's using now even more.
Sure.
So, that's just. I think it's a good catch.
I do too. And just the whole lead up. I know he's passed away since. We're talking about it, but his son, in relating it in the story about how his father was always going out there, always finding prints, and then luckily he had the camera with him and got that. It's just awesome.
Which kind of reminds you a little bit of the Patterson-Gimlin, the PG film.
Yeah.
The Patty film, as they call it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, here these guys are out there renting equipment, and we're lucky enough to catch that thing, and I think that holds the test of time too. That's another one.
Oh yeah.
As much as that's been beat up over the years.
Yeah.
But I think they're both very similar, and the Patterson-Gimlin, even though that was much older, he actually rented a 16 millimeter camera, and back then even the film quality was so much better than the video on this. And I'm not sure what he filmed on this. Actually, I should look up and find out what it is.
Right.
And we can compare things. And now they've digitally enhanced things so much that you can see pretty much what's going on.
Yeah. That Patterson-Gimlin film is the epitome of the film of a Bigfoot, that's for sure.
One of the things I like about, we're switching back to the Patterson-Gimlin now, we'll go back and forth comparing them, but the way it walks. I mean, mimic that walk. Walk with your leg kicks all the way up and your foot's flat in the air. I mean, we walk, our feet barely lift the ground.
Well, it's funny, when you were going back to I was watching it on the screen here, and I was like, let me see if I can, and it is difficult to do that. It really is. And the way the knees are bent all the time during the walk, and I'm like, we don't do like that normally. I mean, we really don't, because I was just walking around here, and it's more straight with the slight bend, where this is like really bent, you know. And like you said, the foot itself is like, it's just
Try to do that walk.
It is.
I've done it multiple times. It is
is.
really uncomfortable to lift your leg that far up. I mean, this is why we're humans. We're constantly tripping over things. How many times have we tripped over something? You turn around and go, "There's nothing there."
Yeah.
But I just skipped my foot over. I mean, it's the slightest little,
Yeah.
raise in the carpet or something like that.
That and the fact that, I mean, looking at that video, you'll see that everyone says it's a guy in a costume. And just watching it again here a few minutes ago, I'm like, that is like, if it is, that's the best costume ever, even to this date.
Right.
Because you can actually see it, the back, you can actually see like the spine where it comes in, and nothing's loose, it's connected to whatever this is. I mean, you can see the muscles move in it, and of course, the breast on it.
Yeah, why would you do pendulum breast? That just makes no sense.
It doesn't make
whatsoever.
sense at all, especially for that time. It's crazy, it really is.
And people have done comparisons to the costumes at the time. I think it was Planet of the Apes was that about there, and they were so hokey looking.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
come on. Any of the guys anywhere near our age, you know that how bad some of those films were we watch. You go back and watch these,
Oh, yeah.
Mothman, not Mothman, Mothra or whatever it was. And I mean, these terrible videos that were
Yeah.
out there, films. And that's why today, even they use CG so much of the time. It's just so much easier than going through the cost of doing costumes and just to put hair all over you and then do that 10, 20 days in a row just to film a couple of scenes. I mean, just let the
It's
computer
amazing.
generate it.
It really is, yeah. I mean, those two, the Patterson and the Freeman, they're good. They're good. I wish I had those.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we will soon.
Yeah.
With more and more equipment we've got. We're going to be going back out. You guys, if you ever want to come down to the museum, check it out. We have a lot of stuff here. And we do take people out Bigfooting now. So thermal cameras, parabolic dishes, the whole bit.
Night vision,
Yeah.
K2 meters, everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And, and we bring you into areas where we've gotten good evidence in the past. It's not like we're just kind of hitting some trail that no one's been on before. We're bringing you to known hotspots. So doesn't mean we get something every time. I
Right.
mean, it's like
get
anything.
lucky.
Yeah.
Get
But
lucky.
we've been pretty lucky.
Yeah. I know that one group we brought out the very first time, we had to explain to them, you're not going to get this every time because you don't. But the evidence and just activity we got that day was amazing. It really was.
Well, you can think of that, going back to that now. We had a print, we had sounds of the difference, knocks, you
Yep.
had shaking, where the print was, you had shaking
Yeah.
of bushes
Yeah.
on that island.
And I have that all recorded on my body camera. And then that night it was just, and at the same time we're getting that, you're getting knocks over
Right.
200 yards away from us across the creek. Just amazing. It was just, and you knew nobody was out there because it literally poured.
Yeah.
Buckets of rain for about an hour and a half, and then we went out right after the rain passed through, and you know darn well there was nobody out there but us.
And that's how we knew that print was so fresh.
Yeah.
It was another partial print, but this one was very deep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have the photo of that. I have to make sure I can put that into the video.
Yeah, I have it. If you
So-
need it, I'll send it.
Buried in one of my emails or text messages.
Yeah, it was 18 inches. It's very similar to your large print you got at Medoc.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it was the same guy, but
Probably was.
yeah. It was just, the evidence we got that day was amazing.
And that was surprising because we went out with a group of a group of 4 people, 4 women, and they've never been bigfooting before. So we were just concerned more with just kind of making sure they were safe and that they were having fun. We had to show them how to use the equipment and basically the common sense things. If something happens, this bear, wild pigs out there, coyotes, the whole bit, do not run.
Yeah.
They'll run past us and chase you. Stay behind, stay with us, and everything went well. We had a good night, but there were bear out there that night. We had a lot of activity with the bear. So
Yeah, oh yeah, I've run into the bear twice out there so far.
Yeah.
But
They haven't come after us. They haven't been
no,
aggressive.
and hopefully they're not, but I carry my bear spray
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, we do.
But
Yeah, I mean, going back now to the Freeman film, one of the things I noticed about that, the only thing kind of bothers me a little bit now, it's obviously fuzzy. It's common for what it is. But it's looking down at his feet more.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be natural. I mean, we haven't hung out and had beers with Bigfoots. We don't know exactly what they all do.
Yeah.
But my encounter of watching that one walk along that bluff that time, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, jet black. There were people talking farther down the hill, had their headlamps on. They were doing the interview with Mr. Beaver. That's when the newspaper was in doing the interview there. So they're making some noise and the headlamps going. I don't think the thing saw me. I can't say that for sure. But this thing kept on moving across, but it never had an issue. This thing, I'm on a trail trying to keep from tripping over roots. This thing had no issue moving through the forest, which, down trees, holes, God knows what. So it must have incredible night vision. Now, this was daytime shot with a Freeman, so it could be totally different. But it had no issue. And the other thing I noticed, it didn't have that. Humans tend to have a little bit of a hop to it.
Yeah.
This thing didn't have it. It was a smooth the way it walked through, just more fluid.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the bent knees and the whole bit too.
That could be. Yeah, I mean, the one sighting I had for the 2 seconds I saw it, I told you it was like sliding on ice. No movement at all, just really smooth, which is amazing.
Going back to yours now, we're bouncing all over the place, I know. But the case, I wasn't out the day George had his first sighting out there. And he actually, I'll let you tell the story about the camera.
Yeah. Well, just real quick, we come in from walking around there all day. It was August 7th, very hot day. And I was out with Johnny. We're out there and probably a good 7.5, 8 hours. Got back to the cars. We were waiting for the reporter, Rich, to come in. And he was going to go out with us. So as we got back to the cars, he was there, Rich, and I'm taking all my equipment off, throw it in the car, and Rich says, I'm going to go down to the creek. So he goes down to the creek, and 3 or 4 minutes later, he comes running over, screaming, George, grab your stuff, grab your stuff. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I'm like, he probably sees a deer or something. Now, it's dark in the woods, but there's still a little bit of light out. So, run down there, and he's pointing to where, and I'm like, I can't see anything through there. It was just so overgrown. I said, let me see if I can get another spot. So I get to another spot that seems a little bit open, turn on the thermal, which was mistake number one, it should have been on, pull it up, and there it is right in front of me, probably 120 feet away.
On the other side of the river.
Just on the other side of the river, walking, and it's going towards a tree, almost like to go hide behind, but heading towards the road. And Johnny's got the road covered, and I'm screaming and howling, and I got it. They're yelling, get a picture, and I'm like, I'm clicking it, and I've only had the thermal probably for a couple weeks, and I know that it has to turn on and reboot about 20 seconds before you can actually take a picture or photo. But at the moment, I'm not thinking that. I'm just hitting it, and it's gone, and my 20 seconds isn't up, and I can see it, but I can't do a thing with it. But it was just so smooth walking across. It was amazing. But we never found it. No evidence. We found some tree structures back in there, but the thing was so big. I'm just, where in the hell could this thing go? Something that big. It was probably a good 7.5 to 8 feet tall and probably 500-600 pounds. The thing was monstrous. But we had all the outs covered for its escape, and it just disappeared. Don't know.
It's funny because you called me right after that. I was home. I was still battling my kick bite crap. And your first question I said, see, he used to bust everyone's holes and go like, how come they don't get a picture? I said, you get a picture. You don't even fucking go there.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was so ticked off.
Yeah.
I was so ticked off. But
well, now it's funny. We both go out there. We carry multiple thermal scopes, so we make sure. And if we go out together, I'll say like, you take video, I'll take stills or whatever, and we try to cover it. And the AGMs are the way to go. And the AGMs, you can put them into basically like a sleep mode, so it's not shut off. So it's saving some power, which really is kind of silly because these things last like 8 hours, no problem. Right. And but this way you just tap it and it's ready to go. I mean, it wakes right back up.
Yep.
So we've learned as we've lost some stuff.
Yeah. But we've also got some great stuff. I mean,
we've been very lucky.
Yeah, and that place out there is just amazing. Medoc Mountain. Not every time you're going to get something. But I always have a rule of thumb. It seems like 1 out of every 4 I'm going to get something of interest, that's for sure. Whether it's a Bigfoot, a ghost, a spirit, or whatever, it's something of interest. But you're not going to get it every time. But as long as you put boots on the ground and go out there, you're going to hear or see something. For sure.
You got to do your due diligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to be patient.
Yes.
I just got back from Lexington, Kentucky, Crypticon. And I was hanging out with a lot of the characters there, and it was a good crowd. I met some people there. It was an honor to sit and have some drinks with these guys and horse around. They have so much more experience and knowledge than I've ever had, and the stories they can tell. But one of the things we talked about there is you're only as good as your word. In this business, and they talked about even the ones that have TV shows, and I'm not going to give names in there, but talking about the issues with producers and stuff like that, and people trying to get into fudge stuff and say no, this is what we do, and nothing
Right.
make believe, and that's just fact. We throw out evidence that most people would die for,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
just because we question it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like that one time you and I went out and we were getting the whistles. And is it a bird? I don't know, but if
Yeah,
it
he
is,
was-
it's a mockingbird.
He was whistling. I mean, fairly ornate, and getting the same thing back. So
Same
I said,
tune.
we knew Johnny was in the area earlier. I said, call Johnny, see if he's across the river, whistling back to us or something.
And he had already
He's-
left.
Matter of fact, he sent us a picture of a snake on the road where he was. He found the copperhead, I believe.
Yeah,
And but it was,
that was just crazy.
Yeah.
But you can't really say it's a Bigfoot or anything, but just some strange
unique.
Evidence.
Unique,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
then rocks being thrown. That's another
Oh my
thing.
God, yes.
I mean, we've all had rocks thrown at us, but some of these rocks are the size of like bowling balls,
Yeah,
or at least
yeah.
a grapefruit.
Yeah.
I mean, so for one of us to try to throw that rock across the street, you'd be in line of sight, and these things come lobbing in, and
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had 3 of us back in April of last year. We had a huge rock thrown at us. We saw something up on the hill. Couldn't make it out with the thermals. Could tell it was something. Looked like something was peeking over a ridge at us. Looked like a head. At one time I thought I saw it get up on its knees. Wasn't 100% sure. Wasn't real clear. And it was quite a distance away. We decided after a period of time that it's just going to take us too long to get over there. So we decided to walk off. We get off 20 yards and all of a sudden this huge rock, probably the size of a bowling ball, hits right on our side of the creek in the water, almost splashes us. And it just freaked us out. I went back over to take a quick look when Johnny went to the creek side to take a look at it. And that object that we had been watching for 10 minutes was now gone. So what it was, I have no idea, but something threw a huge rock at us. Then we go back a week later, same time frame, and I told Johnny I wanted to get out there just to make sure, that just see if something's going to happen at the same time frame. Sure enough, within 10 minutes of that time, another rock gets chucked down at us. And then I told Johnny, let's wait, see what happens. Let's give it a good half hour, 45 minutes. 20 minutes later, there's, on the ridge, 5-6 deer coming across. And I guess the deer heard us or something, went over on the other side of the ridge, couldn't see it, and it sounded like they were getting murdered back there. So the only thing I can think of is maybe we were interfering with this dinner time ambush that it was going to get. Don't know, but something would sound like it was destroying those deer as soon as they went over the ridge. Yeah. It was just crazy. But maybe he's throwing the rocks at us to tell us to get away from that area, just to, this is my area. I'm waiting here to ambush something. You guys are messing it up. I don't know. But then we've had other rocks thrown at us just in general.
Well, years back before, I hate to do this before COVID thing, but back in the day, someone called me up and they found some prints and actually went on the wrong trail and found prints on another trail. But anyway, what found the proper place, and I was casting those. I'm by myself, and of course I go out there. I have a sidearm on. You have to. It's like I said, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And we're not out there to hunt or harm anything. It's purely for safety reasons. And I had a rock thrown at me. I don't think it was a huge rock, probably something the size of maybe a baseball. Mm-hmm. And while I was in there filming, just doing this thing came in vertically. It's like, thump, landed behind me. The leaves are very thick, so there's no way I was going to find the rock. It was enough to alert me. It was like, pay attention, stop talking into the camera. At that point, I already had the casts. Actually, they're right back here. We've already poured, so I'm waiting to dig them out. So I still got the time now where I have to get on my knees and dig this cast out, flip it onto a pad, and then walk these things up. And I tell you, I was on alert. The hair in the back of my neck was up. It's like, who's going to throw rocks at someone in the woods, especially someone who's, and I was open carrying back then, so it was quite obvious that I had a sidearm on. So it's just.
Yeah, And actually, we gave it some thought about getting helmets just to protect us in case something hits
Yeah, I
us.
bought one of the goofy helmets, and I just
Yeah.
haven't. I've been too embarrassed to wear. It's the ballistic helmets. I mean, they're great. They have the rail system
Yeah,
on. You can
yeah.
put the GoPro on. The whole bit. You just look. You look paramilitary out there. I just
Yeah,
look at-
yeah,
we have
it might
enough
scare
gear
away.
and harnesses. We're probably going to get to the point we're going to have to.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh,
going to have to
absolutely.
start doing that.
The
We're just
first
gearing
time one
up.
of us get hit in the head with a rock, that's when we're
Or
going
even
to.
just a branch out of the tree at
Yeah.
night. I mean, it's just you
Yeah.
know, we've had so much stuff happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Just crazy stuff. Crazy.
So, we're going to talk a little bit more, but I just want to let you guys know if you have any ideas of things you want us to discuss, even some of the evidence we've gotten in the past, doesn't always have to be Bigfoot. We've done stuff with the spook lights and UFO and the paranormal stuff. Just make comments below and mention it to us. I'm going to try to get on the road more. I'm going to take George with me, drag him along, and we're going to do more of this stuff. And we want to do more. We're going to start our podcast. This is kind of like not really a podcast. We're sitting here together doing it. But we're going to take subjects like we're doing now and get a group of guys, look at the footage. We'll have to place it in, so I'll have to edit it in later so you guys can see what we're talking about and just discuss things. And we,
Yeah.
like here, we're all over the place, and that's what's going to
Yeah.
happen. We're
Yeah. Yeah.
gonna start off on this subject. Next thing you know, we're talking about,
Yeah.
Bigfoot hamburgers or whatever the hell it is. But
Spinach pie.
yeah, right. And that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But we've gotten amazing stuff. We're
Yeah.
far from stopping, and now it's basically winter time, and but now's the time for us to get out. I mean, now the leaves are out of the trees. Not those huge spider webs we're forever
Oh my
walking
God,
into. Those
yes.
big orb spiders that freak me out to no end. And I can deal with this paranormal. I can deal with all this Bigfoot stuff.
spiders.
Spider on me, I'm like a little girl. I'm screaming and beating the heck out of myself.
Oh God, they're
And,
huge.
yeah, those are horrifying. But that and the snakes and stuff in the hot weather, I mean, I got taken out for almost a year over a tick bite, so I think we all are now very, very conscious of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Spraying ourselves down and checking
Absolutely.
ourselves. It kind of altered my life for a while.
Yeah.
But
Nasty little critters.
but like I said, the films we're talking about here, if you guys, I'm going to play them in here, I'm going to edit them in.
Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Get up here where I can see him real quick. Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Get up here where I can see him real quick.
Watch them, see what you think. I probably should have taken a pause before for that, but I can squeeze it in somewhere in here. But just check them out. Especially we'll concentrate on the Freeman film, and I'll probably put a little bit of the Patterson-Gimlin. We'll do another whole one just on the Patterson-Gimlin film, talking about that. But I think these things look good. They've held the test of
Yeah,
time.
they have.
And there's a lot of other evidence. What was the other one that Kat sent us something? That's another one we should talk about too. The one with these Bigfoot sitting by the river.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
got to get some more information on that
It
one.
was pulling. I think it was in Florida. It was pulling something down off the tree. I guess going after the insect.
Almost like it was splashing with the water.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me about that one was the reaction of the person filming it.
Yeah.
And we'll do another one there. It's just, anyone that's been out there and has actually done this and filmed and have the background we have, there's certain things that you go there just don't seem quite right,
Yeah.
And that's when things get going. And something we don't want to do is be trolls. We don't want to be beating people up. So.
Naysayers.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to promote and get things going. If something doesn't look quite right, we'll say, there's something off here, personally. And it doesn't mean George is going to disagree or agree with me. We're just going to, and that's what we're going to have more of the guys, and love to have you guys throw your 2 cents in.
Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
back to the Patterson-Gimlin, though. How many people came forward in the past and claimed, I was the guy in the suit, I sold him the suit. It was a guy out of North Carolina, I can't remember his name now. And And they show him even holding this. It's
That's
a
not
monkey
even the
suit.
same thing. It's not even the
It doesn't have
same
the breasts. It doesn't. It's totally different. And something by doing the research I did for the Patterson-Gimlin, and I should have it. I don't know if it's on this piece of paper. I don't think so. I have another one in there. But he actually got did a lie detection. They put him
you
a
were telling me
polygraph
about
in
that,
New
yeah.
York at some point. Some renowned guy that does, there's actually a name for that. The guys, the people that do that, and he passed it. So, which is pretty impressive. Which
Yeah,
I didn't know until
absolutely.
just doing research. And you got to double check. Even Wikipedia, I've gotten stuff off there. Even for the Freeman film, the dates are all wrong and everything. So I got it in display. Got to pull it all out and redo that. But it's a lot out there. There's a lot of research we need to do, and I would love to sit down and talk to as many people as you can that still remember some of these things. And I think that's our next step. You know, do small videos like this, and then reach out to maybe this guy's son.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
whoever else.
Get him in on a call or something, a Zoom.
Yeah. And I find out what the equipment is. Maybe he knows what the camera was. Actually, for the Patterson-Gimlin, one of the things I want to do, it's a Cinema K100 16 millimeter camera or whatever. So I've been looking them up. So if I'm going to put this stuff together for a display here, show the kind of equipment he used, what the camera is, how
Yeah.
it's not like it's image stabilization. It's
Right.
not the easy stuff to use. I mean, you weren't really looking through the lens on those. You had a little sight thing on top. You kind of basically, that's the way the cameras were back
Yeah.
then. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I had some of the old press cameras, and they literally had just two frames. You lined one frame up with the other just to kind of roughly frame it up, and that's what you had. Everything else, if you had to crop it, it's done in the darkroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, technology's moved along. A lot of people don't realize that,
Absolutely.
especially today with phones. And well, what are your things you love? You like to wear a body cam.
Yeah. I love that body cam. That thing picks up. The nice thing is, I can go probably 24 hours on that thing. I break it down into 5-minute segments. That way, if something occurs, I go back and look at the timestamp, and I can go close to where it happened. It does create a lot of videos on there, but the recording is better than my digital recorder for voice, and that's why I like carrying it, more so for just that. But the other thing is too, at night, even though it's got night vision, it's not the greatest, but if you're out there at night, 20 feet out or so, you can see the guys, and you know, seeing our reaction from whatever occurs out there or anything, whether it's a deer jumping out in front of you or Bigfoot jumping out in front of you, you get the reaction of the people out there, and that's why I love that body camera.
Or if your mangled body's found there later. Your wife has the proof later for the insurance company. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, see, here's when the bear ate him. Bigfoot pulled his head off. You know?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you caught something really cool talking about that. Another reason why it comes in real handy is to play back things as far as the sound, the tree going down. But you were out with Johnny, and you
Yeah.
guys got this weird static thing, and all the equipment failed at
Yeah,
once.
we were out there about 2:40, I believe, in the morning. We were stationed out there, just hanging out. Nothing was going on, so we decided to head back in. And we were on a little pathway bridge. As we're walking off, you know, before we walk off, I always scan to see if there's any critters out there that might do some harm to us. So just scan around. I scan, walk off, go maybe 10 yards, rescan. Thermal's all messed up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm up there just cussing left and right. And Johnny's behind me. He said, what's the matter? And I said, dude, my thermal just went white screen. He said, so did mine. And I'm like, wait a second. I said, where? He's like, as soon as I got off that bridge. I said, same with me. I said, well, maybe we got something, maybe we didn't. So about a day later, I started reviewing my body cam footage, and sure enough, it looks like, I call it an energy field. Some people call it a portal. I have no idea what the hell it is, but we walked right through that, and it screwed our electronics up. The only thing it didn't do was mess up my IR camera on my body camera. And just by freak of nature, it worked, and I caught it. And it's literally just one frame. I mean, it's like somebody took a flash of you, and that
I'll
was
have to
it.
mix that in here too. That's
Yeah.
crazy looking.
That is.
This is like, it's like a portal. It's like, there's almost like someone shined a light for a millisecond into the lens.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like fractured out, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like perfect. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I mean, and we get a lot of paranormal stuff out there too. I mean, you picked up that soldier and everything.
We weren't looking for anything paranormal. We caught a Confederate soldier out there.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready to go out Bigfooting. We heard noise and someone ran down the hill and I followed him. You can basically say don't chase, and we saw this thing behind a tree step out, and
Got
looks
amazing
like
footage.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
It
it's
is.
just crazy stuff.
It is.
But once again, trying to be organized. We try to stay by some basic framework as best we can for safety reasons and everything else. Plus, this way, when things happen, we know our routine.
Right.
And here, once again, I was lucky enough to have the scope on me,
Yeah.
and it was on.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to turn that on,
Oh, you would
I
have never
would've missed
got it.
it.
Yep.
I had to have it on. So.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have to, we'll go out and do hiking out in the woods, and we carry jackeries and all kinds of other stuff. And so we'll come back and just plug in when we're back
Recharge
relaxing after we've been out for a while. Recharge everything. Like I said, we carry doubles now. We've got
Oh, yeah.
backups.
Yeah.
And we don't want to lose anything. But that's
Absolutely.
another thing, too, that we've talked about. I know we're all over subject here. We used to go out there, when we first started this, with just headlamp and maybe a little crappy night vision. I mean, before we had the thermals we were taking out. I mean, now it's like, we're like, what were we thinking?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You can always, how far can you see with a headlamp? 20, 30 feet
Yeah.
tops into the woods. It's like Blair Witch,
Yeah, and no bear spray, no nothing for protection for us.
Yep.
And I remember one time I went out there on a Friday night about 10:30 at night by myself, did that stream loop thing, and I'm thinking to myself, I was crazy to do that.
Yeah.
After I've been out there enough and see what the heck's out there, it's not nice.
Yeah, the thermal camera will tell you what's up around the
Yeah,
corner.
exactly.
That time you saw the wild pigs, it's like,
Oh yeah,
I had no
wild
idea.
pigs. I saw a mountain lion out there one time, and that was when we were filming with PBS. And it was funny because we were looking. I saw a coyote. And he's just sitting there, but he kept looking to his right. I'm like, what the heck is he looking at? So I scan over there, and there's this huge cat head. It had to be about this big. And I'm like, that's a cat head. And the host of the show's going, oh, a cat? Here, kitty, kitty. I'm like, no, you do not want this thing near you. I'm like, no. And I picked up a rock, and I threw it over in that direction, and it got up, and it was probably with the tail 6 feet long.
Yeah.
And it took off running, and it went across the trail. I'm almost 99.9% sure Brooks, the cameraman, got a picture of it, but I asked him if he had it and, if he'd share it with us. I never heard anything back from him, but just the stuff that's out there, the bears, even a bobcat for that matter, or snakes or anything, man, you're out in the wild, that's for sure.
Yeah, just because it's a state park or a national park doesn't mean the animals stop at the border and go, oh, we don't go in there. There's people walking trails. I mean,
Yeah.
you get everything out there. You got to be just as alert as you would be anywhere else.
Absolutely. But you're right. I mean, we'd go out there with just a flashlight pretty much.
Yep.
Walk around out there. We're just crazy.
Some GoPros trying to hope to film something.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
I think generally, we're lucky too, but generally the animals are not
Yeah.
going to attack. I mean, you'd have to have some kind of really starving or something going on there. Or, I mean, I went to something that I got one day. I was going down to meet George, and he was already in the woods ahead of time. This is down off the service road, and I was filming with a selfie stick. And it was kind of like after this weather, we had a lot of rain, and I was demonstrating to people on the camera that now's the I can step into the mud and I can leave a print. So this is the time to look. And as I go up to the next area there, it's like, ooh, these are bear prints.
Yeah.
And there were baby bear prints there
Yeah.
too. So it was like, ooh, time to pay attention. Put the camera down.
Yeah.
Walk farther down. That's when I ran into George down by the bridge. I said,
Yeah.
did you see those bear prints? He goes, sure as hell did. I
Yeah.
think you were carrying that day too.
Yeah.
Made me
Oh,
feel a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
better. Because I didn't have anything on me.
Yeah.
And that's something I don't do anymore. I make sure I'm out there.
Yeah.
But it's same sort of thing we're just saying. You just got to be aware. You got to be alert.
Yeah.
It's just, anywhere.
Absolutely.
In your own backyard here. How many snakes have you killed in your
Oh,
backyard?
tons of copperheads.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap it up here. We're going to do more of these videos, like I said. Please like, subscribe, and share. Anything you guys want us to put in here, or anything you want us to talk about, or a place you'd like to see us go, let us know. We're going to do as much as we can and travel. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.